Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, according to your time zone. Oh man, yeah, disappointing. This is one of my favorite books we're about to start today, First Samuel, and I was all pumped up for this. And Eric just sent me a message saying he has no power at the house. So I am coming on here just to let you know that we are going to really start either later on today or tomorrow morning at a regular scheduled time, depending on his power outage problems. Um, but just a little intro about what we're about to get into. Remember, we just finished Ruth. That one day, bam, bam, knocked it out really good. That took place during the time of the judges. And the judges, of course, um, was a time of, the Israelites' faith and all just decreasing and decreasing. And God keeps on punishing them, sending persecutors, putting them in timeouts over and over again, quote unquote, and until they cried out to the Lord, and then He would come out and send a judge to come and save them, redeem them, over and over again. And it ended. The book of Judges ended with, um, what's his name? Oh my goodness, Samson, right? Samson, which is it's one of my least favorite stories. Of course, we teach it to our kids and the wholesome kids Bibles as some kind of superhero kind of guy, but he was really gross guy. But I remember he had that he had that Nazarite vow on himself, which he abused over and over again, except for growing his hair out. Um, and then God, of course, took away that hair of his own, his own arrogance, ends up losing his hair and losing his strength. And of course, still cried out to the Lord and ended up winning the battle, being the faithful judge at the end and taking his own life. But anyways, we have Ruth, this kind of intermingled in there, that wonderful story that we just got through. Um, Story of faithfulness, right? Of faithfulness of Ruth to Naomi, to the Lord. We saw that too, that she was a Moabite woman that was, a cursed nation, the the incestuous son of Lot, that was cursed, and yet this woman became part of the lineage, not only part of an Israelite and a believer in Yahweh, but also part of the lineage of Jesus Christ himself, of David and Jesus. So pretty awesome stuff. But now we're headed into this, after the times of the judges, and the people are finally going to be calling for a king. They're tired of following God. They've gotten to that point where they're just tired of following God. They want a physical representation, a physical leader um, over their nation, and in a king. And so this is where this story of Samuel and the kings all come together. Is this time of the people crying out to God, saying, "We want leadership. We want a human leader of our nation." And like the other nations, they want to be like the other nations. That's part of our biggest problem. Part of their biggest problem is in following God and following His ways is they turn to the world. They start seeing what the world's doing. They fall for these other gods, these other practices, these other idolatries. They're sexual immorality, like crazy, all the temptations and trappings of the world, which we still have today, right? And also, they want leadership. They want to follow something other than God, and so God, of course, he has God has his guy in David, and even anoints David throughout the story, throughout these chapters. But the people choose the best looking, the tallest, the most kingly looking guy, and of course, he ends up being a flop, big time flop. He ends up not being what they expected. Ends up letting him down big time. And of course, David over the period of time ends up being the king. Um, and it's a just an awesome story. But it all starts out with a woman, which is great, because in this time, this is one of the great things about the Hebrew Scriptures is even this time of the patriarchy more than it is today. Even this time when men ruled, like unquestionably ruled the world, and women were not even counted as witnesses. Um, they were not. They were counted basically as almost property to the man, right? To the husbands, so in this time we start out with one of these biblical narratives with a woman, with Hannah, um, which is barren, which we see that kind of thing is God's got a special heart, a special place in His heart for women, especially barren women, because there's something He's instilled in women, to give birth, to have children, to nurture, to love. They are the lovers part of God, right? They are the nurturers. They have that nature of God that is the nurturer and the lover, um, that us men cannot completely understand. But and for her to be barren, just like we've seen many times through the Bible, these barren women end up being a great blessing on all of us, right? She will also be a great blessing, and she is in a Levite family. We see that her and her husband are mentioned, or I guess her husband. Oh, this. Of course, I'm driving down the roads while I'm doing this. I can't. But in First Chronicles, chapter 6, around the 20s, it talks about her husband being from the Levite tribe. So, of course, being part of the Levite tribe means you are devoted to God. Your family is devoted to God. You may not be priests. You may be doing some kind of service for God. It's your occupation. Your inheritance is God, right? Your inheritance is the Lord. So this is a Levite family, and of course she prays to God. And I'm like, we're not going to get into the actual scriptures. I'm just going to give a quick intro. But she prays to God, is very faithful, and has a son, his name is Samuel. The name of this book is Samuel, right? First Samuel, and he becomes the prophet, priest. I mean, a man that's put right up there with, right up there in status alongside Moses. I mean, this guy's really awesome guy. And I love this story. I love especially the beginning because it shows a truth that we have all through history, and that's most great men of faith, or just great men in general throughout history, have had these kind of mothers. These mothers that's just really strong mothers, that faithful mothers that were there praying and interceding, and no matter what the circumstances were, they were there for them. And I think it's a really beautiful testimony that you see here. It's their just faithfulness to God, and faithfulness to, though she was blessed with this son, she was still faithful to turn that son back over to God. And what a what an awesome thing. We can be thankful that she did so, because with that came these awesome books that we're going to be reading and going through. So pretty awesome stuff. I don't know if Eric jumped in here and popped in here with me. No, he didn't. But I just wanted to give a quick intro. First of all, we'll hear a lot about David in here. Eventually, hear a lot about David. And of course, Eli, the priest, will run into that character as well, which is seemingly a good guy. You can kind of like him. He's the priest at this time. Of course, we also learned about how to be a good father, and how to not be a good father. And Eli turns out to be a terrible father. His sons end up to be the worst PKs, preacher kids ever. So we'll also hear about that story. But yeah, can't wait to get into it. And hopefully, Eric will get his power back and we will come back later on today or if not today, then we'll hit it again tomorrow morning. So, anyways, oh yeah, also, if you're still listening, if you're somebody that listens every day or on a regular basis and following along with us through the Bible, um, I noticed in our little statistics, when we get statistics on YouTube and all, um, just give us a like and a follow and all that stuff, or subscription or whatever it is, wherever you're listening at. Just would you please do that? Because it's like it shows like 90% of the people that listen or watch along um, are not following. They're not subscribing. So it's kind of hard to meter how we're doing and those kind of things. And also, if you do that, whatever platform, you'll get notifications and all. It's like, hey, they're coming on. Especially with our sporadic, power issues or whatever else, you may not know. If we come on later on, you won't know we're coming on unless you're subscribed. So do that for us. Hook us up and give us a like and a subscribe and all that stuff. And yeah, yeah, and we can build our little community, little Bible study community, bigger and bigger. So, all right, guys, appreciate it. Love you. We got a long way to go today, and just pray that everything goes well on my trip today. And if you got any prayer requests or anything like that, praises or anything, testimonies, send us, give us a note, drop us a message, and we'll be sure to pray for you, or praise along with you. Rejoice and rejoicing, and weep and weeping. How about that? So, love you guys. Y'all have a great day. Bye.